as a driver now, the very first thing that comes to your head when you're driving in Lagos road is that anytime your car starts acting funny, the very first thing that should be at the back of your mind is that ride sharing is not for the faint-hearted. If you can't handle some certain things, don't even venture into it. If you are not tough, if you are not street smart, man, you can't make it through the first year. It will frustrate you. You know, because you see a lot of people complaining this, that, there's no money in it, they make the money and take it back into it. That's because it's a jungle out here. And a lot of people out there, especially the car technicians, you know, the road enforcement agencies, the area boys, they are all out there to get you. They are all out there to get drivers. You know, once you drive a car, they feel you have money stacked up somewhere. So any opportunity that presents itself for them to, you know, extort you and rip you off, they try to take maximum advantage of that. But that's why you, as a driver, or you that drive part-time or full-time, need to be street smart. You must be ready to get your hand greased up, because sometimes it will be necessary for you to get your hand greased up. You must have your hands stained. You must be ready to do some hard labor as a rideshare driver, either part-time or full-time. You know, I'll give you guys some story time that will buttress my point, where I'm saying you have to be smart, you have to be street smart, you have to be tough, you have to be rugged, you have to be resilient. You know, most of these things I've learned from driving ride sharing, you know, has actually prepared me for the future, for life that I'm going to expect in the future. You know, I've learned a lot of things as a driver. I've learned never to give up. I've learned, you know, to keep going, no matter how things seem tough. Keep going. Find solutions to problems, solve problems, and just keep going. Because life is always full of challenges. There's always hurdle for you to cross over. Let me tell the most recent story that happened to me. You know, I was driving, that was on Friday, and while I got towards Lekki Ajah axis, I got a request going to Ado Road in Ajah. So after dropping the rider, I got another request that was taking me back to Lekki Phase 1, which I was happy because I was almost approaching the evening time. So I was hoping that, okay, I can get a trip back to the mainland and just go home and relax and, you know, do other things and, you know, call it a day. So my battery light came on. Although the light has been coming on before now, it goes on and it goes back off. You know, when it comes on like that, normally you would expect that the car won't start after you drive some meters. But if I started, the car still starts. So like I was wondering, maybe it's an error from the computer of the car. So I ignored it since the car was still starting. So on this same day again in Ajah, the lights came on, the battery light came on. So I was like, this thing again. And I was driving, everything was working out fine. I said, okay, maybe it's the same thing. It goes on and never means anything. But before I got to Chicken Republic in Ado Road, my car started acting up. I noticed my speedometer stopped working, my temperature gauge, fuel gauge, everything was down flat. My AC stopped working, my radio went off, so my mind went that it's electrical. And since the battery light is on, it's definitely the battery. And then I was like, wow, this battery thing is now very serious for it to affect my car functionality this much. So as a driver now, the very first thing that comes to your head when you're driving in Lagos road is that anytime your car starts acting funny, the very first thing that should be at the back of your mind is that, guy, pull over, find a safe street. A street. Don't park along the road. A street. Look for a street. So I just started scanning for a street that I was going to park. I'm not so conversant with this part of town because it's been a long time I went to Ado Road. So I started looking for, is there any street close by here that I can pull over into? Then luck may have it, I saw an estate. It's even an estate, not even a street. A gated estate. So I just turned my hand into the front of the estate. That was where the car just parked up. So part of my car was still on the major road. Part of my car was on the entrance to the estate. I had a passenger with me, a lady. That lady was very understanding. I was very lucky to have such an understanding person as a rider when I'm having a car challenge, because one of the problem is that when you have car challenge and you have passenger, they will just double your problem. They'll start complaining, they'll start saying all sort of things. Most of them do like that. When you have, because they probably don't own a car, they probably don't know how car functions or how unreliable cars can be sometimes. They just start complaining. If you know your car is not good, start saying all kind of things that will demoralize you instead of trying to even encourage you to seek solution. So I was right in the middle of that entrance to the estate, and there was a woman right behind me going into the estate. So I was trying to push the car by myself, but I couldn't because it was a slope, a hill. So I had people, even the gateman. Luckily for me, everybody around there was just nice. I was surprised because it's quite unusual. So the gateman at the estate gates and one other guy, they assisted me, and I was able to push the car into the estate, and I cleared off the road inside the estate. So definitely nobody came to harass me, no doubts, nothing. It was an estate. So I said, okay, this is alternator, obviously. I tried starting it, the battery was already dead. So my passenger, she was very nice. She gave me almost half of what she was supposed to give me if I took her to her destination. So I went out to look for a technician. I went to a place, I saw some group of mechanics. I asked them that have alternator issues, so they directed me to call a car rewire, as a car electrician. So I met this guy. The guy was even sleeping, acting all lazy. They woke him up, and I was like, bros, how far now? I beg you, my alternator get problem. We'll call me lose them, check what the problem be. The guy said it's going to take 8,000 naira to lose the alternator. We've not talked of repairing the alternator, and with the way the guy is talking, it's not going to fix the alternator for me. It's just going to lose the alternator. If I want to fix it, if I want him to fix it, I'm going to pay him another extra money. I was like, 8,000. We talk. The guy was okay. Now we'll remove 1,000 at 7,000 naira. I said, I cannot lose alternator for 7,000 naira, even if I like make I day Banana Island, because it doesn't make sense. I've not talked about how much I used to fix the alternator. Maybe there's something bad inside it I have to replace or fix, or probably buy another alternator. I said, bros, I better collect 4,000 naira. Even that 4K is something that is way above the expected amount to take out and even fix an alternator. At least that job is not supposed to be more than 4,000 naira, taking it out and putting it back in. The maximum. Normally it's supposed to be like 3K, but 4K, let's say, okay, things are expensive, we understand the situation of things, okay, 4,000. Guy refused that no, he's not going to take 4K. I'd be like, for real? Funny enough, that was maybe because he was the only one there. If I was in a place like Oyigbo, Adigbo, you see a lot of options, people are a lot. But probably because he was the only one there, and he felt I was desperate because my car broke down, not where I'm staying, far from home. So he wanted to take advantage of me. He wanted to take advantage of my situation. So I just looked at it and said, man, I can't give this guy all 8,000 naira or 7,000 naira just to take out alternator. What if I have to repair something or have to do one or two things? That was when I told him, don't worry. I went back to my car. I opened YouTube. I checked for videos on how to replace alternator for the Honda Civic this generation, and I saw a very helpful video, and I saw every tool I would need to execute the job. So I didn't have every tool, I only had some few tools. So I had to go to a nearby market. There was a market there where they sell car tools, car repair tools. So I bought the 12 spanner I needed, ring and flat. I bought 12 spanner, 12, and then I bought a 14. Then before you knew it, I was more than 80% taking off this the alternator. But I got stuck on the way. There was a knot that was hard for me to pull out. So since I was already done halfway the job, I went to look for somebody, and the guy helped me pull this alternator out, and I gave him about 2,000 naira. So I took the alternator to a repair shop where they repair alternator. Luckily for me, there was a market close by where they do all this Kickstarter, alternator repair, and all those kind of things. So I went there, and the guy used the test the alternator. The alternator wasn't working as expected. So he just used his brush because the alternator had packed a lot of dirt, a lot of debris, dust and all. So he just brushed it with his wire brush and tested it, and the thing started working. So luckily for me, I didn't have to repair or buy another alternator. I didn't have to even repair the alternator. So I gave him just 500 naira. I went back to my car and then I fixed back the alternator. Of course, I had to rent a battery, which I rent. That area, since it's so expensive, to rent a battery was about 3,000 naira to rent battery. And so they're not even begging you if you don't want to rent, bye bye. So I was able to execute the whole fixing within my budget. So why am I saying this? If I was feeling too lazy to attempt to even look out for videos that would even help me losing that alternator, I would have probably had to go with 8,000 naira to fix the alternator and spent way above my budget. Bro, this money is not easy to come by, man. It's not easy. It's not easy. We know the trouble we go through to make this money, so you have to be calculative when you want to do things. It's not like I'm saying you should be fixing your car. No. But what I'm trying to say is that have idea on how to fix and lose some things in your car. It will help you in the long run. It will help you in case you get stranded somewhere. It will help you to go out of all those kind of places and probably get to a safer place where you can do a more comprehensive fix at the affordable rate. Many other stories I can talk about why I feel ride sharing would teach you how to be a lot of things. A lot of stories. But I'll just stop here for today. Today is Sunday and I'm currently on the road, but I'm done for the morning shift. I'm going home to rest, go to church, do some other things, and probably in the evening, if I can get fuel to buy, I'll buy fuel and start my work. So that is it, guys. The street smart. And another story, I'll show you guys how I almost got caught flying one way, which was unintentional. I didn't intend to enter that one way. I'll share that story in another video, so you guys should be seeing some of my experiences and understand some things that drivers go through. So if you're a passenger out there, you're in a car, the car develop problem, please take it easy on the driver. It's not his fault. These cars can come up with issue anytime. Don't make matters difficult for him by trying to berate him. It's not his fault. So just calm down and try to help him with the solution. I'm not saying you should get your hand dirty, but just try to make him feel relaxed. Don't make him feel more tense, because it's not easy having a roadside breakdown or having any breakdown anywhere, any part of town or anywhere at all. The money involved, the stress involved, the brain power it consumes and everything. So guys, that is it. You have to be street smart. You have to be ready to get your hands greased up. You have to just be flexible. So guys, I will see you guys in another video. Until next time, peace and stay safe.